The full moon hung in the sky like a watchful eye as Evelyn Carter, an inquisitive journalist, stepped off the bus. Her boots crunched against the gravel, echoing through the empty village. The air was thick with anticipation and the faint scent of decay. She adjusted her scarf, feeling the chill seep into her bones.
This place feels off.
Evelyn murmured to herself, eyes scanning the abandoned homes and shuttered windows that seemed to hide dark secrets. Evelyn approached the center of the village, drawn by the ominous presence of the ancient well. The wooden bucket swayed gently in the breeze, creaking with age. She hesitated, a sense of foreboding washing over her.
What happened here?
She wondered aloud, her voice barely audible above the rustling leaves. As Evelyn leaned closer, she noticed strange symbols carved into the stones, their meanings lost to time. Evelyn pushed open the door of a nearby house, the hinges protesting with a loud groan. The interior was frozen in time, a snapshot of a life once lived. She picked up the diary, curiosity overcoming caution. The entries spoke of a prosperous village, thriving until a mysterious illness swept through, leaving only silence in its wake.
No one ever left.
Evelyn whispered, her heart pounding as she realized the gravity of what she had uncovered. Evelyn's footsteps echoed as she entered the chapel, drawn by the faint glow of candlelight. Father Thomas, the last remaining villager, stood solemnly at the altar, his face obscured by shadows.
You've come seeking answers.
He intoned, his voice heavy with sorrow.
But some truths are best left buried.
Evelyn felt a chill run down her spine, sensing the weight of unspoken horrors. Father Thomas led Evelyn to the heart of the village, where the truth lay hidden beneath the earth. She listened intently as he recounted the tale of a pact made in desperation, a bargain that had cursed the village to eternal silence.
The well was a gateway,
he revealed.
A portal to another realm.
As lightning split the sky, Evelyn understood the grim fate that had befallen the villagers, their voices forever lost to the shadows. Evelyn stood at the edge of the village, the weight of her discovery heavy on her shoulders. She took one last look at the silent streets, the village now just a whisper of what once was.
Some stories are best left untold,
she thought, turning away from the village that had vanished from time, its secrets sealed forever in the shadows.
The village had long been forgotten by the world, a relic of the past hidden deep within the forest. Eli, a young historian with a penchant for the mysterious, ventured into this eerie landscape, driven by tales of strange occurrences. He could feel the weight of history pressing down on him as he walked the overgrown path.
There's more here than meets the eye,
Eli whispered to himself, his breath visible in the frigid night air. Eli moved cautiously, his flashlight beam dancing over the weathered carvings that adorned the village's crumbling structures. Each symbol told a story, but their meanings were long lost to time. As he paused to examine a particularly intricate design, a sudden gust of wind sent a shiver down his spine. It was as if the village itself was speaking to him through the rustling of leaves and the whispering of the wind. Drawn by an inexplicable urge, Eli approached the ancient well that dominated the village square. Peering into its depths, he saw only darkness, save for the occasional ripple distorting the moon's reflection.
What secrets do you hold?
Eli mused aloud, his voice barely a whisper against the surrounding silence. The air felt charged with an unsettling energy, as if the village was waiting for something or someone. As Eli turned away from the well, he noticed a shadowy figure standing at the edge of the village. The figure was still, its eyes seemingly fixed on Eli. The historian's heart raced, a mixture of fear and curiosity battling within him. He felt compelled to approach, yet every instinct screamed to flee.
Who are you?
Eli called out, his voice trembling in the cold night air. The figure glided forward, its form becoming clearer under the moonlight. It was a ghostly apparition, dressed in the tattered garments of a long-gone era. The spirit the last guardian of this forgotten place, gazed at Eli with eyes that held centuries of sorrow.
You seek the truth of this place.
It intoned, its voice echoing with the whispers of the village. Eli nodded, unable to speak, as a cold chill washed over him. As the first light of dawn began to break, the whispers receded, leaving the village in an eerie silence. Eli stood in awe, his mind swirling with the stories of the past. The spirit, now a mere silhouette against the rising sun, gave one final nod of acknowledgement before fading back into the shadows. The village, though still forgotten by the world, held its secrets close, waiting for the next soul brave enough to seek them.
The village of Black Hollow lay nestled in the valley, its cobblestone streets winding like veins through the heart of the settlement. The villagers whispered of an ancient curse that plagued the land, a shadow that loomed over their lives. Candles flickered in the windows of the stone cottages, casting trembling light against the encroaching darkness. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, an unspoken dread that seemed to seep from the very ground. Elias, the village blacksmith, tightened his grip on the lantern, its light a small comfort against the encroaching night. Mara, a young herbalist with an air of quiet confidence, scanned the tree line with sharp eyes, her satchel brimming with remedies and charms. Old Man Thorn, the village elder, leaned heavily on his carved staff, his gaze distant and troubled.
We must uncover the source of this darkness,
Elias murmured.
And put an end to it.
Mara replied, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. As they pressed forward, the mist parted to reveal an ancient stone altar, covered in moss and etched with cryptic runes. A feeling of ancient power emanated from the stones, a whisper of forgotten rituals and lost souls. The shadows around the altar seemed to pulse and writhe, as if alive, and the villagers hesitated, sensing the presence of something otherworldly.
This is where it began.
Old Man Thorn muttered, his voice barely audible over the rustling leaves. The shadow, an embodiment of the village's fears and ancient wrongs, loomed over them, its eyes glowing with malevolent intent.
You dare disturb my slumber?
It intoned, its voice like the rustle of dead leaves.
We seek to end your curse,
Elias shouted, his voice strong despite the terror gnawing at his heart.
The sins of your ancestors bind me here.
The shadow replied, its form shifting with each word. Only through understanding can you hope to free yourselves. In the growing light, the villagers worked together, deciphering the runes and performing the rituals described in their forgotten texts. The shadow resisted, its cries echoing through the forest. But as the final words were spoken, it dissolved into the morning mist. The air felt lighter, the oppressive weight lifted, and the forest seemed to breathe anew.
It's over,
Mara whispered, relief washing over her as the village was bathed in the golden glow of the rising sun. Elias and Mara stood at the edge of the forest, watching the village come alive with renewed hope. Old Man Thorn joined them, a rare smile on his weathered face.
We've given them a new beginning,
Elias said, his heart swelling with pride.
And reminded ourselves of the strength that lies in unity.
Old Man Thorn added. As the sun climbed higher, its light banishing the remaining shadows, the villagers rejoiced, their hearts light and free.